Wicked here for my hopefully regular stream time, this time likely with louder, if not better audio. I probably should be investing in a good mic soon. We'll be doing another deck profile yet. I'm leaning towards featuring rats, but if anyone's here and has a preference, we can do that. But as I just started, I will take just a moment to get things set up here, and then we'll get to it. Oh, hi, Mind Lord. Did you have any... Okay, we can do rats today. Sounds like a plan. So this is my white-purple rats, or ninja druids. I am running a lot of structures and a couple odd picks here and there. Of course, our main stick here is summoning lots of rats with vermin tunnels and hidden in the walls, particularly to make a really big Elsevar. We've got a little bit of defense from Fortify and Emergen. Like, these two sort of are our main anti-aggro tools, and also Emergen gives us an important flyer answer, and she's pretty solid. Like, she's not really a win condition in this deck like she can be in others, but she's a highly versatile card that can give us some castle heal, or can heal up our Elsevar, and it gives us a lot of important answers. And she comes down really early, so she can stop those, 1, 2, and 3 gold flyers pretty reliably as well. So she's not here to be a win condition, she's here to be an incredibly versatile card that helps cover our little weak points. There are other legends you can run, but none of them really do what we want. So, yeah, we could run Archdruid. She's very cool, but the problem with running Archdruid here is you really want a lot of mana to make her good. And she's a very strong card. Like, I have other decks, other Elsevier Archdruid lists that are great, but she's less good here because you really want to be spending your mana on, were-rats and other things. And the thing about the rats is they eat up a lot of deck slots, because to get good use out of Hidden in the Walls, you need a lot of building. So there isn't really much room for mana gain. And if we're getting a ton of mana from Elsevier, that means we're probably already in a good position to be winning, and we can, sink that mana into Emergen healing or extra draw from schools. So, well, she can be a very good card and a very strong deck. Not so much here in this rat deck, because we really want to be dedicating ourselves to running enough buildings to get good Hidden of the Walls tech, as well as having enough room to keep ourselves alive. Emergen, Fortify. Then we've also got to deal with those early flyers, we've got Assault Tower, which also doubles as a structure for our Hidden in the Walls, and Northwood Hunter, who also summons a beast, and rats are beasts as well. So we're not really running Elsevier for the mana, because we really just want him to get super big from lots of rats dying. But that being said, we do have a couple mana sinks. We're at 21 mana as it is, which is about what you want to target when you're making a normal deck. And we don't have any other mana generation. So 21 is usually sort of where you want to be when you don't really have mana generation. And now, keep in mind, this 21 mana is bigger than it looks, because we spend mana on Emergen, and we spend mana on School of History. And if we don't get an Elsevier going, we're going to not have much spare mana at all. So we've got ways to sink and make good use of the mana if we do get Elsevier, and we don't have too little for the deck to function if we don't get Elsevier going. So that's... And another thing is, I'm generally big on running 3X in general. I think that's really important for consistency. You want to have a primary game plan that you want to focus on, and Elsevier with lots of rats dying is this deck's win condition. Like, most of the time, that's how you're going to win, is with a really big Elsevier. Now, you can just win off of lots of were-rats and lots of rats. Like, But that is more secondary. Mostly the rats are really good synergy with Elsevier, although they certainly can win games on their own, especially when you mix them with Fat Bard and getting extra were-rats here. Welcome back, Mine Lord. So that's sort of the main deck profile here. We've got a little bit of beast synergy. We've got flying answers. We've got some anti-aggro. We've got the target mana for a deck that doesn't have mana generation, but because we can get mana generation off of Elsevier, we have mana sinks with Emergen and School. I did the campaign during testing. I haven't really done it live yet. I'm more of a multiplayer guy myself. I will probably revisit it again in its most recent iteration, but right now we're just going to do this rat deck profile and hop into multiplayer here. So I guess a couple of our other buildings that we haven't touched on. So Dojo is just a solid structure in general. Getting an attack boost is always nice. Sushi Shack gives us another draw engine, as well as, when we've got a bunch of rats on the field, having that extra action is really useful. And I think we've covered... Oh, right. So Call of the Wild, we draw 2 beasts. We only run 2 different beasts in the deck, that being Rat King and Were-Rat. So we very reliably get to draw those 2 out of it. So we've got draw covered, we've got healing and anti-aggro covered, we've got our win conditions with Elsevier and Were-Rat, we've got good beast synergy, and lots of strong structures to use with Hidden in the Walls. We just sort of hit all of our bases and have a really solid deck. It's not what a lot of people immediately go to, trying to go with like Archdruid, or maybe trying to pull off something fancy like some Kondo shenanigans. These are all very strong cards, but the rat deck in particular has a very tight-knit synergy. So it really, really eats up a lot of slots too. What did I just take out? I took out a Sushi Shack. So I think that's enough talking about the deck. Let's actually go see how it performs. So we're in quick match to hopefully pick up something that way, and we're also just hanging out in the most populated lobby with an auto match going. So while we're waiting for a match, either through quick match or auto match, we can spectate here. But it looks like Mine Lord's going to come in here and get in going here. I hope we're not doing a mirror, though. That would be a little awkward. He's also going to be sniping me, but that's alright. Okay, so we're not seeing, like, while purple, black can be aggro, generally I don't expect it to be aggro unless I'm seeing red. So we definitely don't need 2 fortifies right now. We really don't need an assault tower right now, and the Roman Tunnels is good until we have another rat to pair with. We don't really want to play it early. I'm going to keep 1 fortify just because it's a really good card that draws. But right now I'm really looking for a nice opening play, a 2-drop structure, or my win conditions like Elsevier and crew. So we're just going to hold on to that fortify and try to dig out our main game plan here. Okay, good. We've got a turn 1 play and a turn 2 play and a little bit of protection. We don't have anything to go on the offensive yet, but that's okay. So, dropping down to School, we don't usually tend to use its abilities much early on. Mostly we're just setting up for Hidden in the Walls, but, in a pinch it will do the trick. So we've got Killer Monkey here. Don't really have much to do other than drop down a dojo. Where to place this dojo is not too important, but I think I am going to throw it up here just so we can limit the monkey's movement a little bit. We've got a Fat Bard for next turn. We'll be able to clean up that monkey. And now it's just a matter of, hoping we find an Emergen or an Elsevier or something along those lines to follow up and get our main game plan going here. So I may have been wrong. He very well may be playing the sort of Absorb aggro, which is a pretty neat deck. My best guess here, when I see Kai Jr. and Necromancers, I'm expecting to see those dots that proc multiple times over a turn to, A, sort of clean up my field, and B, super boost Kai Jr. And we don't really have much spell removal, so we're okay there. We won't be particularly weak against Absorb. But we don't have a lot of early aggressive units, so if he does get that Kai Jr. rolling, we could be in a bit of trouble. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, good. We found an Elsifer. That's always good. That's an important part. We don't want to play him just immediately, because unless we have some rats or something to follow him up with, he's likely to just get killed off early. But it's good to have him in hand, because we are going to want to play him soon. And yeah, so Fat Bard will give us something to do this turn here. Oh, okay, so we might be playing a little bit of a mirror, hard to say. So we don't have initiative, so we want to be a little careful where we play this Fat Bard here. We want to make sure that we can at least kill that monkey. Ideally, we'd like to see Kai Jr. I don't believe Dojo is factoring in the bonus from Fat Bard there, so I think Dojo will push Fat Bard into being able to kill Kai Jr. So with that in mind, I'm going to place my Fat Bard right here, which will keep anything from being able to attack him other than that Kai Jr., but will ensure he'll be able to reach that Kai Jr. short of him running away. And if he just runs away, that also works out for us too. Kai Jr. is a high priority target that we want either dead or at least off of our face. Now, placing it down here does mean I probably can't reach the monkey, but he's got initiative, so monkey's going to kill my mana tower no matter what. Yeah, okay, so he's going to focus down my... Alright, so this worked out well for me. I didn't lose either structure here. I'll be able to kill this Kai Jr. as I expect. Dojo gave me just enough to push Fat Bard into killing that, and now we're in a pretty good spot. I could draw a card here with Focus Study, but right now I sort of want to save my mana just a little bit, since we're not guaranteed to get the Elsifer engine running soon, and there's nothing we really need right now. We might play it next turn if we need to find another play, but we're good right now. He took out my Dojo, but that's okay. Dojo did its job and let my Fat Bard kill that Kai Jr., and that's all we really cared about here. Hey, okay, so we can just preserve our mana to save 4 Emergen to use. So we'll drop Emergen a little bit aggressively here, with the main plan of her just killing Monkey, but I can always pull her back if need be, but I'm not too worried about her dying. She's pretty tough. She can heal herself. She can turn into a bird. So we'll clean up the threat that's over here, and then we'll call that good. Now we're actually hoping to start drawing some rat stuff, because we want it to pair with Elsifer, and there's plenty in the deck. We've got time, so we'll probably... okay, so we are playing a bit of a mirror. I'm not quite sure... Oh, it might be the Altar deck. Yeah, Altar deck's fun. That's stealthed rats now, a little bit annoying, but that's alright. So we're just gonna hang tight here. So we know the rat is still here. If I step here, it's going to get pushed somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure where. I feel like it's probably going to get pushed to the back, but even if it gets pushed to the front, it's still going to be able to reach anything. So we're just going to pull Emergen back just a little bit, so maybe she doesn't get hit by every single rat, and clean up that monkey, and then we'll see what happens from there. He's only got 2 actions, so there's no way he'll be able to kill her, and because she'll have a chance to heal either herself or Fat Bard before he does. Okay, so he's going for the Mana Tower, which is a good pick for his part. He's not going to be able to kill my units, so hitting my mana generation is always good, especially since he sees that I've got mana sinks with Emergen and School, so he knows that mana is going to be important. Oh, did I accidentally pass without using Fat Bard, and so he got all his action? That's fine. Emergen still survived, and we're going to... Actually, do we want to heal her up right now? Because we sort of want to drop this next turn. Well, either way, let's go kill that Rat King. I'm going to put my Bard back here so he's a little bit more safe, because if he dies, he dies, but it would be nice for him to stick around long enough for me to get some beasts into play, so this makes him more likely to survive. I still got a couple rats, I think, hidden here. I've lost track a little bit. I could heal one of them, but I don't think he has enough rats to kill either one of them, and I want to make sure I can play this next turn. Okay. Alright, yeah, there were a couple more rats hidden there, so we'll be able to get this engine going, and then, we mind less if they die after that. So let's block off that Kai Jr.'s path, and that also, puts us sort of close to the castle. Ah, yes, there's that Curse of Rot. So he is playing sort of the dot deck alongside rats, which is interesting, because rats tend to not get along. Well, maybe he's just not running the big field AoE. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, so Milesware might get sniped here, because, that Curse of Rot can get a lot of work done. And I don't have a spare heal from Emergen right now. But that's alright. So we're just gonna get sort of aggressive with this Emergen, because now we don't care so much if she dies, because she'll be helping Elsevier out, so we're sort of in just, as long as... We really would like Elsevier to survive. Which is looking... Okay, and now we can even get a nice little heal for him, now that our Fat Bard died, because we really do want to keep Elsevier in the picture here. He is one of our main win conditions, after all. Okay, so let's see. Let's get that mana tower. Actually, I'm going to draw some beasts. Although, even if I play Call of the Wild right now, I'm not going to have the gold to play a Rat King, so let's just get our mana tower back down. Actually, first let's go ahead and fortify our Elsevier, see where that gets us. Alright, not bad. I may just go ahead and fortify Emergen as well. Just, expand our options a little bit further here. Let's see, we'll be on the 7 gold. So next turn we can play Call of the Wild and a Rat King. So I think right now, let's just get our mana tower back up. And then... No, I've got initiative, so I'm going to hold off on playing this until I see what's going on. I will go ahead and throw this dojo down, though. Alright, so now we have a spare gold, so we can either use it to play this, or we can use it to transform Emergen. We've got options. We'll begin making our slow march with Elsevier over to the castle. Okay, so just doing some setup himself. I guess he's probably getting ready to play something big like a dragon. So let's go ahead and start with that. Alright, so Emergen will survive even if attacked by Kai Jr. But let's go ahead and throw this on her just for good measure, come up and punch this castle. That might have been a little bit wasteful, but that's alright. I really don't want her to get too beat up right now. So, alright, now we've got a solid... Yeah, okay, I thought he was saving up for a dragon there. So we're definitely going to play some rats. Like that's definitely happening. But then we've got to decide what we want to do with the rest of our resources here. I mean, we're probably going to want to heal one of these up this turn. Probably going to... Well, we don't really need to transform Emergen. He put Morgantoth out of reach, so we don't need that gold there. So we could draw a card. I don't think we're going to need mana now that we've got the Elsifar Wrath combo going. Or we could draw some this way. So I think right now, since we're just going to keep our options open with our resources here. You know, we can play this, we can do library, we can do mana tower. We'll keep our options open depending on what Mind Lord does here. Ooh, monkey. That got uncomfortably close there for my Emergen. But first things first, let's start getting some rat action going here so we can pump up this Elsifar. And I do need to decide who I want to be healing with Emergen. At this point, I might want to keep Emergen alive. So I probably should have actually healed Elsifar before I suicided that rat, because that way I would have gotten a tiny bit more mileage. But this works too. So we'll go ahead and just run this Rat King up here, punch there. Okay, Mind Lord passed, so now I'm getting to take all the actions I want. As you can see, Elsifar is getting pretty close to being able to just one-shot that castle. Like, that is just super danger mode. He's been making his slow march of doom over there, growing as the rats die. I have initiative next turn, so I'm not too worried about Emergen dying. So I'll just go ahead and do a pop shot there. And yeah, let's get some more rats going here. Alright, so we've got all kinds of options going on now. Elsifar is getting very close to just winning the game for us. And that looks like good for this turn. I could draw a card with the mana there, but our mana is low enough that we want to be a little conservative still. Alright, so Vermin Tunnels, that'll be a good play, get a bunch of rats. Yeah, I think we're just going to go for a second Elsifar. We're going to not play this immediately because we want to keep our options open, and there's not a sense in playing this right now. And because we have initiative, we don't need to transform Emergen or anything. Not that transforming him would help against Morgantoth, but that's okay. So we've got a lot going on here. We've got, you know, he has to be very afraid of that Elsifar, because that Elsifar will just one-shot that castle. And now that I've got two of them down, it's going to be pretty hard to stop that march. But we'll see what he has to play. So, sadly, I'm not going to be able to kill it. So he's going to be able to get to use Morgantoth. There's not much we can do about that. But let's go ahead and heal up Elsifar first things first. And then... I think I'm going to kill off the Kai Jr. here. Now decisions are tricky, so I don't... so Emergen's going to die no matter what, so I guess we're not too worried about that. We can at least pull him back just a little bit here. Oh, that rat is not where I wanted it to go. This is fine, actually. He's going to die to the AoE of a rat giving sacrifice, so better he just dies now and gives Elsifar another little pump up. Elsevier is quickly growing large enough that even frozen and bursted from Mordanoth, he's likely going to survive here. Although with that Curse of Rot, that might change things. We will see. So, we're just going to let that happen and roll with it for the moment. So, first things first, let's just trade here. Pump our Elseviers up a bit. And now that we officially have more mana than we know what to do with, now we can start sinking it into some draw. Let's see, no sense in moving him forward right now. And let's just go ahead and throw down some... I messed up there. I should have played that before trading with my rat. I did a dumb. And it happens to the best of us. I lost a couple rats there, which is a little unfortunate because, that is a lot. 2 rats doesn't sound like much, but it is a lot of value right now. Alright, he is not going to survive this, but that's alright. Now I can do an aggressive assault and probably a Were-Rat. We'll draw a card, now that we have more mana than we know what to do with. Okay, so we've got options. I think I am going to commit to dropping this down here, puts on some extra pressure. And then I do need to decide between, what rat I want to be playing here. So I think we're just going to go for a regular one because we want to get a bunch of little spawns going just to keep pumping up that Elsevier here. So actually, first we're going to drop another school and draw even more cards here. Okay, so yeah, I think we're just going to go... it's also tempting, but really we just want to focus on getting more Elsevier value. So let's throw that down and start with that. Not enough. And now we can trade some rats in there to clean up his Mordanoth and further boost our Elsevier. And we can start... let's take out his mana tower since he's pretty low and that's a fairly valuable resource for him right now. And, next turn we have initiative, so it's pretty much just game over. There's basically nothing that can stop Elsevier from walking there and punching. Even he can't body block because he's a Colossus, and there are burst spells and ninjas that could beat him up a bit, but now we're going to go ahead and drop down an Emergen, so we'll be able to heal him up even if he gets beat up. I don't think there are enough burst spells in his colors right now to be able to kill him before he can take out that tower. Let's draw a little bit. Okay, even nicer. Alright, so let's drop our Fat Bard here, and we're going to just play this now because Fat Bard isn't a constant effect. It only starts at the beginning of the combat round, so we want to get that going now. This is probably overkill, but that's alright. Yeah. There is not much you can do to stop the march of Elsevier right now. Oof, that's a surrender if I've ever seen it. Sacrificing your fresh kaiju. But yeah, so that's what the deck's about. It's just got a lot of tight synergy here. GG Mindlord, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, so it's got a lot of tight synergy. It's got just enough mana to be doing what it wants to be doing. As you saw, even once we had dropped Elsevier and started trading in lots of rats, we never had an excess of mana since we have our 2 mana sinks, and we just don't really use those mana sinks if we don't have the Elsifar Engine going. So, and it's got a few different angles to win. The primary one being Elsifar, but Were-Rat and Hidden in the Walls can definitely win games on their own too. And it's just got all its bases covered. It's got good healing, good draw, multiple win conditions, answers to flight, healing both for units and castle. It's just got it hits all its bases. It doesn't look too fancy. I don't think Altar would have helped much. Like, my castle was basically full health, and Altar needs to come down pretty early to be really a threatening card. It definitely can be, especially in like a Rat Mirror, but I think I was in a good enough position that I didn't need that, and I could have always held the Emergen back to heal my castle as well. Altar Rats are definitely a fun thing. Now, personally, I detest burn, and even in my black purple rat deck, I ended up cutting the Altar just to make room. Not because it's a bad card, but just because I do not personally like it. And I thought there were probably better options. That being said, you can't always just lean into the Altar out like Mindlord was doing, which is perfectly valid. So, do we want to look at some different variations of rats, or shall we just keep playing this one? I think we should just keep playing this one. I do want to... Oh, that is a fair point, Mindlord. I hadn't thought about Altar proccing that King Kaiju before. Usually my King Kaiju decks have a ton of other damage sources, so he usually hits 0 anyways, but I'd never thought of Altar as a Kaiju source procker. That's pretty nifty. Alright, so definitely working for the deck you put together. I don't think I'm running King Kaiju in my Altar list. I think I opted for Mordanoth, obviously, and I think I then, went for a single copy of Dracula, and probably Mordok, just because he's my boy. But we can look at that another day. Let's go ahead and try to grab ourselves another game here. So, while we're waiting for a match, I suppose we'll just go and spectate this one here. Oh yeah, Rot, or the AoE version of it, with Kai Jr., phenomenal. Phenomenal! Alright, so let's see here. Okay, so Robo Peep is running his Sniper Tombstone. Oh, okay, we've got a match. Aha! Oh, I've got some real competition going here. Odin, aka Vectivus, one of our 2 devs. He always gives me a run for my money. I used to think I could just bully him, but I came to find out that was mostly because he was testing lots of weird stuff when, we were testing or doing funny things on stream rather than playing serious. But he's certainly changed gears now that he's playing the ladder properly. And, I think we're fairly evenly matched a lot of the time. I still think well, no, right now he is ahead of me on the live game. I do still have a significant lead if you counter testing, but our games are always close. Let's just say we're fairly close to evenly matched. Yeah, that's fair, Mindlord. Yeah, in the Rats, the AoE version's a little bit awkward for sure. Alright, so, but focusing on this game on hand, we like School of History for an opening play. Northwood Hunters, good early game. Now we're going to toss these to look for, an Elsifer or an Emergen, one of our other key pieces here. Well, rats are good. We don't really need them early on. Alright, so we may not have much of a turn 2 play, but School of History can double as a turn 2 play just with the gold draw. I very rarely use that just because of how it cost increase, but without any other options, we're definitely going to. Alright, never bad to see. Make sure yellow or white, red. I'm not quite sure what to expect there. I haven't done much of that color combination. Like, red tends to hint at either you're running it for answers or aggro. I wonder what he is doing. Oh, no, I think I know what he's doing. I think he's using the red dragon, who requires a lot of mana to be able to use reliably, paired with white for the mana generation. That is my guess. I don't have a good idea about what the rest of his composition is going to be. Alright, so we're probably just going to play a Northwood Hunter this turn. But we'll see what he plays first. If I've got people being aggressive, I'll play my Northwood Hunter here, because that'll spawn the wolf in front of her, so she'll be protected. Because he didn't play anything at all, we're going to go ahead and drop it here. This way the wolf can run face. Next turn, we've got a few options between rats, and we'll just see what happens here. So he appears to have had a little bit of an awkward hand himself, so we've got an initiative next turn, so we're not worried about putting our archer in danger, so we're just going to go face here. So I could play, I think I'm going to drop the assault tower here just because I'm in a position to do so. Whereas, Northwood Hunter can be dropped at any point where, let's get this assault tower down just so it can do some work while we're in a spot that we can get good use out of it. And now just a little bit shy of being able to kill that mana tower, so we're not going to worry about it. We're instead just going to keep focusing on beating up his castle here. Magma Titan can't push around a structure, although he will be able to kill it. Let's just go ahead and pull this wolf up here so it's not in immediate threat range of Titan. We'll go ahead and pretend to be an aggro list right now, which we are definitely not truly. Let's start focusing on shooting that down, because we really don't want it to explode when it's next to our stuff. So call that good for now. We don't have enough spare mana that we want to be drawing cards right now, especially since we want to be playing a Northwood Hunter and an Emergen. So we're just going to call that good for now. And most likely I'm going to play a Sushi Shack for the draw, and then one of my 3 drops. But we'll see what he plays, because that could change what we're doing. Pyromancer. Yeah, okay, so he's just playing red mana sinks with white for mana gen. It's solid. He's going to be able to move up here, range 2, area 3. So he's going to be able to hit anything that I put in any of these squares here. And that does 19 damage, so Sushi Shack could survive. So a little bit tricky here. Yeah, well, let's start with the Sushi Shack, see what that draws us. I'm going to put it down on the bottom. That way he's going to have to choose between wanting to hit the Sushi Shack or... I guess he doesn't really have to choose. Yeah, okay, I'm making him choose between the Sushi Shack or the wolf that I'm about to spawn. I can keep the archer out of his range here. So now he has to choose between Sushi Shack, Wolf, or either of the archers. I've done my best to play around this AoE that's coming, but Pyromancer is very hard to play around. I'll also have to take a look at Mine Lord's list after this round here. I've definitely made Odin's... Okay, he's just going for the trade. Very cool. So I guess that means I was a little bit too cautious with my wolf here. We'll have initiative next turn, so we will likely be able to kill that Pyromancer before it can do any serious damage. I'd really like to see our Elsifar about now, because we've got some units on the board, and we've got things that we could be sinking mana into, but we can't afford to do that unless Elsifar shows up. Oh, curious. He didn't heal his Pyromancer. I wonder why. Let's just pull that wolf up there and see where that takes us. I want to make sure I can kill this Pyromancer. I'm a little nervous about him, like, throwing a Fortify down. Like, if I drop a bunch of rats right now, and then he throws down a Fortify, I'm going to lose all my rats, which would feel not great. So I think we are going to play the Rat King. It's just now a question of whether we want to save our gold for our vermin tunnels, or if we want to play a dojo. I'm leaning towards the dojo because if I want to make sure I can kill this Pyromancer, so that gives me my best chance of doing that. I think I'm going to play this dojo up here, though. It's a little bit farther forward than I'd like, but we are not always in the position to have a structure drop up here. So we want to keep that spot open for if we don't have any units and need to play a structure by our castle. So we'll drop that to help ensure we can kill Pyromancer. If he drops another Fortify, though, it's gonna really hurt. But I think he's already played one. So, yep, there it is. That is exactly what we were afraid of. And I do not think we're going to be able to kill this Pyromancer now. And it is going to do some very serious damage. Alright, one Northwood Hunter will survive. Now, we're still going to want to kill it. It's just, so we're going to need to... Alright, who's going to... Alright, let's start with... I think we're just going to attack the Rat King and this wolf. Although if we do that, then all of our little rats are going to die. Okay, we have 3 actions. We might be able to pull this off. Maybe. Let's see. So he is at... Alright, finally this health will matter. So I don't have time to do that math. Yeah, I'm pretty much just going to have to hope that I can nuke him down. Let's see. 13. Alright, yeah, my 3 beasts here are my best chance here. So let's start with this boy. Ooh, okay. Sushi Shack coming in clutch, letting us kill that Pyromancer. The combination of Sushi Shack and Dojo is the only reason we were able to pull that off. If that Pyromancer had gotten a chance to nuke our board, we would have been in real big trouble. Now, had he wild healing it, I don't know if we would have been able to pull that off, though. Let's just work on killing. I probably should have moved my Rat King out of that AoE, but I panicked and forgot. That AoE is definitely going to hurt us a bit. I could have saved my Rat King, but I was very panicked. But all in all, that went pretty decently. Yeah, I may start considering to use School of History draw here, because we really want to dig up an Elsifar, but we're alright for now. Next turn we're probably going to be playing Vermin Tunnels and Fat Bard while we still have a rat on the field. What was that? Did he just... Oh, he's... I wonder what beasts he's running. Most likely just some either... Okay, he's probably running Manticore, because that's a really strong red beast, and maybe Bunny or some other big thing. Losing the Rat King there was an unfortunate and unnecessary loss, but we're still doing all right. However, I do know he is going to start dropping big dragons soon, and since we have not managed to get an Elsifar early, we could be in a bit of trouble. We're going to have a pretty tough time dealing with a big dragon. Okay, Owlbear, yeah, big beast. It's likely Owlbear and Manticore. Alright, so he's on initiative. I think I'm going to protect my archer here, throw down... Actually, I probably should have drawn a card first. Yeah, let's see what we can find. Alright, that's all. But yeah, we'll drop Vermin Tunnels here. This way the Fat Bard will immediately buff all of our beasts, and we've also protected our archer from this Owlbear. We want to make sure we save at least one rat to ensure we get Vermin Tunnel value next turn. So we're going... This will be the rat that we... Actually, we're going to save two rats. Let's kill his Mana Tower. Oh, right. Okay, so... Let's trade in our buff rats. Okay, actually... Oh, Fat Bard will even survive. Nice! Move this rat up into threat. Oh, crap. I meant to put it in front of the castle so it would get Fat Bard buff next turn, but oh well. It's done. Alright, so still no... Alright, yeah, we're going to... We have enough spare mana now that we can afford to spend a little to dig. Still no Elsifar. So I could play Rat King, Vermin Tunnels. I think that's what I'm going to do, because that'll get us a lot of Fat Bard value, and more importantly, if he does drop like a big AoE dragon, the stealth will make it very hard to target them. And we may as well drop down another School of History too, into a little bit of an awkward spot to drop it, but that's okay. Yeah, those are going to be some pretty tough rats here with that Fat Bard buff. Owlbear. I do want to try and keep this Fat Bard alive if possible. So, for me to be able to pull him back, I've got 3 actions, so I think we're definitely trading 1 rat in. Can my Rat King survive? No, it can't. So we want to pull Fat Bard back. So let's move this rat up and pull our Fat Bard to safety. Let's move some of these ones up. Let's go ahead and beat up that castle. Now I'm gonna pass now, because if he wants to come down and kill that rat, I'd like the chance to trade into him with a few rats. No, he's not. Okay, so he is just... So it's a little bit dangerous to not trade right now, because, you know, there's a lot of AoE in red, but I would very much like to have an Elsevier. I'm going to go ahead and spend a little more mana to try and dig up that Elsevier. Okay, fortify, that's always nice. I'm not going to be able to aggro him down. I need to start beating this up and trade in a couple of my units here. Just otherwise, I am very likely to... I probably should have held these back in Fat Bard range too. I'm not playing the best right now. I should have put Fat Bard here and held these guys back just a little bit. That's alright. I may as well come shoot the castle. That's not a great move, because that means now he could drop an explosion. Ooh, another wild healing. Alright. Okay, and we'll be able to follow up with the Rat King, just so you can't immediately nuke them all on his turn here. Ancient Arbor. Don't really want to use my Fortify right now. We are running a little low on mana, so I'm going to spend a little bit of gold here. Not what we were hoping for. Alright, so... let's just play the Rat King. That'll get the Fat Bard buff. And... let's play another dojo here. Really get some extra damage going, which will give us just enough gold to play a Fortify if need be. I really can't afford to spend more mana drawing right now. Really need to see either Were-Rat or Elsevier. Like, those are our primary win conditions. We have a pretty hard time surviving if we don't do that. So I think I just need to try and clean up this owlbear, because that is a big threat here. So let's start working on that. Let's pop that mana tower. I don't really want to trade my rats in right now. We'll probably actually end up pulling a bunch of these back to get into Fat Bard buff range, but we'll see what happens here. I'm really lucky he'll walk forward and that rat will get pulled back so I can kill the mana tower. Aha! Yes, that's exactly what we were hoping for. Now we can kill that mana tower. And then we want to try and kill these trees. This rat's got his buff, so it doesn't feel like a waste to attack with him. I think we're actually just going to try to pull back most of our other rats into Fat Bard buff range. And we'll call that good. So it looks like both of us are just sort of struggling to find our win conditions. It's been a really fun match. We both made a couple very small mistakes. Mine might have been bigger than his. It's really going to come down who can draw their big thing first. I'm definitely in the better position. I have a fairly stacked board. I've managed to snipe his tower, so we're in a pretty okay spot. We've got initiative next turn. Hey, there we go. All right. Now our game plan can begin. I want to make sure to save enough mana for Fortify in case he tries to do like a big spell removal. Alright, now we're in good shape. I think we'll just probably play the Assault Tower. Either that or another Hunter for another body. Yeah, let's do Hunter and School. Alright, that leaves us enough mana for Fortify, and then once we start trading in rats, we'll have enough mana to get extra School of History draw. Alright, like this. We're in a good spot. Archdruid. Archdruid with 0 mana. Does not feel great. Alright, so let's see. I guess first let's hit her there. Shoot that tree. Let's draw a card. Hey Red, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I've been getting plenty of matches here. Up against Odin, sort of my right. Oh, I wasn't paying attention, lost my Fat Bard there. That's okay. Fat Bard has done his job, and everything that dies right now only fuels the Elsevier more. Now I've got enough mana to keep digging even more. Hey, we've got a spare Fortify. Cool, cool, cool. Let's go ahead and take that out. Do we just want to go face, or do we want to keep focusing on cleaning up his board? Let's keep focusing on cleaning up his board here, because, we want to kill these trees off before she has a chance to start dropping squirrels. Plus, everything that dies right now is sort of a good deal for us. So we're just going to hold on to these fortifies because we're going to need them to keep our Elsevier alive on his long, slow march forward here. He's running red, so between spell removal and the fact that he's going to start dropping a lot of ranged units real quick here means I need to really hold those in reserve to keep him alive. Because all he's got to do is walk a few more turns forward and it's pretty much game over. As long as I can keep him alive a little bit longer. Hey, Beastly, thanks for stopping by. Oh, okay, so he's just running Archdruid Elsevier with red for some removal package. Interesting. Well, let's see what we're working with here. Let's drop a Sushi Shack to draw a card. We're actually in a little bit of danger from this opposing Elsevier here. His Colossi are a lot faster than mine right now. Okay, Were-Rat. Okay, we can start putting the pressure on with Were-Rat. We do want to make sure we save enough for these fortifies. We're going to have to try to focus and kill that other Elsevier down here. I think we're going to go ahead and draw another card right now because We've got plenty of mana in our future here. I don't think I need... I just want enough mana to play at least one Fortify this turn. 2 is probably overkill. So I may not even need to play 1 right now. So, alright, there we go. Looking good. He's going on the offensive because he knows he's on a bit of a tight clock here. Oh yeah, the Liana Elsifer package is an extremely strong deck. Absolutely. I've got 5 actions from all my sushi checks, so more than I know what to do with here. So let's go clean up this Elsifer before it becomes a real problem. I'll likely be able to get that just off of initiative here. So we'll just hit face, not that that's going to do that much right now. And just keep our onslaught going. We could draw a little bit more, but I think our hand is stacked enough, and we don't have enough bodies on the field now that we want to save a little bit of mana here, just get some Emergent action going soon. So we're in a good spot. Very soon Elsifer will just go and win the game for us, and with double Fortify in our hand, and it's very unlikely he can stop that. Then again, he is playing Colossi, and Colossi are the only thing that can block other Colossi. It'd be really nice if we could find a hidden in the walls right now. So, yeah, let's spend a little bit of mana to draw. Not what we were hoping for. Let's spend a little bit of gold to draw. Still not what we were hoping for. Alright, so we'll be able to clean up both of these with what we've got going on over here. I think we're probably just going to play an Emergent, because we're going to probably want some range support, and we do need to just save a little bit of gold for our Fortifies here. I could play a Dojo. I think I will play a Dojo. I really probably don't want to be playing 2 Fortifies in one turn anyway, so yeah, let's drop another Dojo. Leaving us just enough to play a Fortify if need be. And he's digging. And I've got a very big Elsifer here. That's going to be real hard for him to stop. So first things first, let's clean up his side here. Get those threats off of our face. Let's go ahead and kill that little tree that's in our way. And then we're going to go ahead and move Elsifer up. And unless he can play 2 Colossi next turn, it's pretty much over. And without any trees, those squirrels aren't going to be much of a threat. Yeah, he's going to have a pretty hard time doing anything to that 139 Elsifer, and double Fortify and Emergent here. Even at 1 health, Elsifer is still probably going to be big enough to kill that castle. Ah, yeah, and he's destroyed quite a few of my buildings too. So it's looking pretty well over. Oh, there's our hidden in the walls too. Oh boy, that's going to be a lot of... Oh, hey! That fear will push Elsifer back just a little bit. But... Yeah, let's play a Fat Bard first. Because otherwise I'm not going to have anywhere to play that Fat Bard in just a moment here. And I guess let's play another Fat Bard, and then Hidden in the Walls, which will leave us just enough to play Fortify. Now the question here is, do I want to tip my hand and play it now, or not. No, let's keep that as a surprise. Hidden in the walls will be a nice hidden surprise. We don't want to give our opponent information. No, I probably should have, because now I'm missing the Fat Bard buff. I did a dumb. I very much did a dumb there. I really should have played it so I could get that double Fat Bard buff, but oh well, mistakes are made. We're still in a pretty good spot. However, the benefit to doing it this way now is rats will be spawning forward rather than mostly being stuck in the back, so this is okay. It wouldn't stop fear, I don't believe. I might be wrong, but I assumed that the rats would not stop fear, but I could be wrong. So let's go ahead and lay that hidden in the walls now that we're going to get those forward spawns. Defortify that. And he did. I'm going to go ahead and let's just start trading in here, see if we can clean her up. Get Elsifar nice and big. Oh, I made another small mistake here of I wanted to heal him before I started leveling up because he gets more value that way. As usual, when I'm streaming, I make so many mistakes because I'm so busy talking and not focusing on thinking. Alright, so we're able to clean that up. And then I may as well do a bunch of trading into this T-Rex as well. Turn timer! Ran out of time. Couldn't get my other guys into position, but we're in a... There's not much you can do to stop what we're doing now. And now a second Elsifar for good measure. And Soul Tower for good measure, still leaving us enough room for a Fortify. There ain't much you can do to stop this level 25 Elsifar. But, I said that a turn ago, and he did manage to buy himself some time, so maybe. I don't think there's pretty much any way he can win now. But he might be able to buy himself a little more time. We'll see what happens here. Yep, that'll be the win. Yep, he surrendered. That was a fun match, though. Made a couple small mistakes there, but that's okay. The raw power of Elsifar Rats was able to just muscle on through, and that's what it does. Well, let's just go ahead and throw the auto match up, look for quick match 2, and just get another round in here. So far, we're perfect win rate with Elsifar Rats. It's a very strong deck. I'm actually curious whether having those rats would have stopped the fear. I don't actually know. I assumed it wouldn't because A, they don't block movement, and B, Elsifar's a Colossus, so he can move things out of the way. But they do block friendly movement, and you can't push your own units with Colossi, so they very well may have kept Elsifar from going back. I really probably should have done that if for no other reason than science. Like, it was just the better play in general. Like, A, they would have got the Fat Bard buff. B, they just might have been able to prevent my stuff from getting pushed back. But while we're waiting for our match, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. We've got presumably a very, very stinky, disgusting Rune Burn deck from Vicious Val here, based on the Dragon's Fire, and probably running Rune Burn for blue. And I think that's what we're expecting here. Mind Lord, on the other hand, is on some sort of storm variation. Let me see if I can guess what he's doing here. So purple, what is purple giving him? Legend-wise, that's giving him like King Kaiju, or one of the Stealth Boys, Kaji or Kondo. What? He might be doing something really... Okay, rats. He's doing... I should have known he's doing rats. Okay, so he's doing green rats. Green Rat Storm. So I'm expecting to see a Vileroth, and then maybe he's running Maddie to bring in another fun pick to use with rats. If not Maddie, then maybe... Vileroth's almost a given. Maybe he's running some treasure stuff to go with Robins, or maybe he is just running one of the big purple legends like Kondo or King. Although these colors don't have a... they both have a fair amount of spells, so he could get good King value. Hard to say. Yeah, my best guess is he's just doing Storm Rats, so Vileroth, other big legend of choice, and, ramp structures to go along with hidden in the walls. Our auto match... I wonder why our auto match doesn't seem to be picking any of us up here. I don't think any of our rank is that significantly different. But hard to say. Still don't fully understand. Alright. Another pseudo mirror here. Alright, don't need two of those. It's a little early for you. Dojo's okay, but there are things we want a lot more. Okay, turn one play, always good. The rest of the hand's looking a little awkward, but that's alright. So we can either... We'll probably go for the draw over the dojo, because we really want to be digging for our key pieces. But we'll see what happens. Might play the dojo, just because I want to be able to get these rats to be big enough to kill off some crewmen, but let's see, what else do we want to find if we're not playing dojo? Because the downside of playing dojo is you can start beating it up. I mean, obviously we want to find our key pieces, but for next turn, yeah, we could really use like an archer. Let's go ahead and draw a card rather than dropping dojo now to expand our options here. Alright, so we've definitely got like the rat side of the deck highlighted here. Maybe we'll actually get like a rat victory rather than an Elsevier. Hey, there's the archer we were hoping for. Okay, good. And now I can play her in a defensive position where the wolf will spawn forward to keep her safe. Yeah, there we go. And this also means he cannot kill my mana tower, so there we go. That worked. That is exactly the card we were hoping to draw into. One small awkward part of, if we move forward, we're going to let our archer get hit. But what I can do instead is come up on top, shoot this so it doesn't have enough attack to kill my mana tower, and then come and kill this one. I think that's our best play. Given, since he's going to be on initiative next turn, if he wants to kill my mana tower, he can, and there's nothing we can do about it, which is why I opted to just try and protect her as much as possible here. We can't really afford to be spending our mana on draw right now, so we're just going to play it safe here, and we'll see what happens next turn. 4 gold, we're in a little bit of an awkward spot because we don't really have any particularly good play right now. I might do a mana draw to see if I can find a Rat King, because Rat King's sort of what we want to see. Alright, now let's do a mana draw. A Mergen. Not bad, although now that we've done the mana draw, we can't afford to play her. So I might just go for double Vermin Tunnels. Like I could play the Dojo, but it's just gonna get picked off if I do that right now. Yeah, well, let's just keep our options open and see what happens here. We can draw cards, if he leaves the mana tower alone, we can make mana. We can play our burst spells, we'll see what happens here. So I'm probably going to want to shoot this bird. I think that's going to be a given. And yeah, I guess we're just going to go for the tunnel approach here. Let's kill off one of these skeletons. The real question, though, is do I want to just sacrifice my rats into the Southport Captain or not? I probably won't, because I really want to get some, buff value down on my rats before I start trading with them. I've got initiative, so I'll use this wolf to clean up that skeleton. Hunter will kill the bird. Let's just go ahead and move these rats in without trading them, because we really want to at least have a dojo down, if not an Elsevier or something along those lines. So first, let's go ahead and play our mana tower, since we are running a bit low on that, since we sacrificed some to draw. And then we could either draw a card, or we can get some extra damage down going here. Now let's draw a card, because we really want to try and play an Elsevier next turn, if we can. So we want to focus on that deck thinning. This deck is all about finding its key pieces, which is primarily Elsevier, but we've got our were-rats to fall back on if we can't find him. So I'm going to go ahead and kill his mana tower first. And then we're going to kill that bird. He's getting some hidden in the walls action going. Ooh, lots and lots of rats. I don't really have much in the way of AoE. It's just about the only box this deck doesn't tick. I may as well clear one of his rats. There's little reason to keep this rat just safe in the back here. So that's all we got for now. probably just going to transition into Were-Rat here and start getting some value that way. Were-Rat's not quite big enough to take out a Southport on his own, meaning perhaps I should have traded a rat in, but we'll see what happens here. It's definitely getting some damage done on my castle here, but we've got this to fall back on, so we should be alright here. So that's all for now. We want to save this for a more crucial moment. Alright, there's a Rat King. Looks like we're probably just going to go into Were-Rat mode this turn. Alternatively, we could go Rat King just to hide some of our stuff a bit. Or, even more alternatively, I could just do my own little hidden play here. But I like to hold off on hidden for sort of as long as possible, because you can get a lot of buildings down if you wait. Given if you wait too long, you can start losing buildings, so you do need to find a good balance there. So I do need to choose between... Actually, yeah, let's go for the Rat King, because that way he won't be able to see my rats, so he won't be able to pick them off, and that way I will very likely be able to kill his Southport captain. So we can drop the dojo and a Rat King. This way we can, if not kill his captain, at least do some very serious damage to it. Our castle's not low enough for us to really be afraid yet, so we didn't need to save any resources to try and keep that up. And if our castle gets low, we've got some ways to fix that in the near future here. We've got, we're slowly building up in our build. Oh boy, lots and lots of rats today. But as rats do not block pathing, there's really no way he can protect his captain. Oh, rats can't move other rats. I've learned something. That makes sense, but it does surprise me a bit. I can't push these rats out of the way. Very interesting. But what I can do is I can just kill one and, make a path for myself. Oh, learned something new about rats. Little rats can't push each other around. It makes perfect sense. I just didn't expect it. In the same way that colossi can't push each other, even though I don't think they say it on their card. And he's doing his best to protect his Southport, but not an easy thing to do. Well, I guess let's just kill off these rats that are threatening my castle. And then come in here and keep beating up on this captain. We have initiative next turn, so that captain's pretty well toast now. So yeah, we're just sort of biding our time, hoping we see an Elsevier, slowly building our city here to get maximum hidden value, and otherwise, and we'll start playing Were-Rats very soon here. That way, if we can't find an Elsevier, we can get that engine going, which goes a long way too. Were-Rats are definitely formidable, and yeah, I do believe it is Were-Rat time. Now, do I want to save some resources so I can play spells, or do I just want to throw a dojo down? Let's just throw a dojo down. Like, we really do want to be getting our city building going, and we're not immediately in any threats to need spells. We're on initiative, so we can kill the captain. Right, so first things first, we're killing that captain. That's 100% gotta happen. Next, I'm gonna trade this rat while he is still alive, and then I need to choose between let's just let's smack with the were-rat, and this way if he approaches, I'm going to be able to hit something with the archer no matter what. It's just a question of whether I leave her holed up in the corner or finally bring her out of her safety spot there. It's killing my buildings. Rude. If I bring her out of safety, he is going to get a hit on her, but we can live with that. Curious. He's trading into the were-rat right now. I wonder why. I don't usually like... Well, I guess he's not on white, so he doesn't have Elsifar that he needs to save them for. He does have a couple of dojos out, so he's sort of thinking he may as well trade them. So I've got some options here. I probably just want to get going with the were-rats still. But if I'm not careful, it could backfire. I don't really have spare mana to be drawing cards. We are going to play a were-rat just to threaten his back line here. Next question, though, is... do we want to play a fat bard? Yeah, I think we want to play a fat bard. Because that will help protect our archer from this bottom skeleton here. We'll buff up our were-rats, making sure they're big enough to get some serious damage in on his back line here. Yeah, we're in a good spot. We've got our Curse of the Moon going, we've got a fair amount of buildings, so yeah, first things first, let's clean up our immediate threats. And let's go kill that captain next, because we'll see which is annoying. Captain is almost a win condition. So we'll get that were-rat just right on his face, so he's threatening Castle Sea Witch. We've taken care of that, and now we're transitioning into, let's see, we'd like to play that this turn. So 4-8, yeah, that doesn't leave us with anything to spare. So let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3 buildings, not bad. I would like to play that first, but we really want to be getting this action going. So let's go ahead and play our Hidden of the Walls now, so that we can get some Fat Bard buffs. Not that we really need it, but that's okay. And then we'll... oh no, I should have played this instead of Hidden. I could have held off on Hidden for a while still, but that's okay. So if we clean up that Sea Witch. Ooh, a rally. Interesting. think I will. Alright, so I want to kill this for sure. And then it's just a question of, yeah, there's no way I can really deal with that safely, so I think I'll just go punch it with the fat part. And then rats can't get any smaller than they already are, so we'll just run them, no fear, into this ritual, which also sets us up for that bard. And then right now, while we know he doesn't have any spell answers, we're going to go ahead and Curse of the Moon. Well, let's do this guy so he doesn't get reduced by the rituals here. And I think we'll call that good for now. Alright, so don't, probably playing the Mergen. I think I'll just fortify this fat bard here because I'd like to keep him around for a while longer if possible. And that'll also get us a draw to expand our options a bit. Okay, I think we'll just do all three of these. We'll just put this aggressive, and then we'll throw this down so we get those fat bard buffs. Alright, looking good. And we've got another Curse of the Moon, we're just going to keep on making new were-rats here. First I'll kill this little peasant over here. I do want to advance him up a bit, so let's just pop that. That way we clear our path for our were-rat. And we're in a pretty good spot. We've just got the Curse of Moon chain going here, so we're happy with that. Yeah, I guess we'll take out a building. Take out Distant Sniper here. Those are 17 damage vicious rats. That is pretty brutal. I do want to keep them in fat bard range here. I think I will just go clean that up the rest of the way. Let me move this rat forward, and yeah, I think we will just move this bard forward so we can catch this rat down here. Good, we're in a pretty good spot. We're not going to do a mana draw because we don't really have enough to spare since we just haven't seen Elsewhere. Oh, this is nice. We're actually getting to do the deck's, other game plan and getting to, just do the Curse of Moon chaining. That's good fun. And so speaking of that, I think we'll just, let's go ahead and draw a card. I probably should have done that before playing that tower, but that's okay. Alright, so we're just going to keep on going with the Curse of Moon chaining and call that good. We've got this we're just full rats this game. No Elsevier, just rats. That's all you need. Okay, so he is on Maddie. I was wondering. Let's beat this up a little bit before it has a chance to do damage. And we'll start with that. Okay, now we're safe to use Curse of Moon without fear of any spells getting in the way, and we can just start working on actually winning. So, first I will clean this up. Yeah, let's just go for the rat transform now. And now we can just start hammering on castle. Yeah, okay. This rat room to squeeze in. I think we're interested in taking out his buildings. Start moving our other rats in. Moving our fat bards up so that they get the full buffs to... should have put him in that space there, because now he's not buffing those bottom two rats, but that's alright. We're in a pretty good spot. Likely just going to win off of double were-rat plunge here, but we'll see what happens. Let's do a mana draw. Okay. I think we will play a Mergen, because that'll give us a way to clean up that parrot. I'm going to go ahead and transform her, because I know he's got a bunch of invisible rats here, so I don't want her getting beat up without a good reason for it. Let's go ahead and play another Sushi Shack, give us more actions, more buildings, and yeah, may as well play the Hit in the Walls just to get that early. Make sure we get that fat bard value. Looking pretty well over, but we'll see what happens here. I do, ironically, have a little bit of an awkward situation of this rat is just in the way of me, actually winning with my 1-2 punch with the were-rats here. That's okay. That's an easy thing to solve. And it is very easy to get him out of the way. I just have to do it at the right time. Although if he manages to kill one of my were-rats, that works out for me too. So first we're just going to punch here. Oh, okay. Nope, we're good to go. Were-rat victory. I think we played 2 moons that game. That's always nice. And more often than not, we're doing the Elsifar trick, but moon rats are always solid. Oh boy. Oh, you'd matted in your Elsifar. Neither could I. I did a lot of digging too. Oh, neither of us were playing Elsifar that game. It was just all rats all the time, which is rather satisfying. So far, still rolling undefeated, even against some strong opposition like Odin and our resident Ratman. So let's see if we can keep going with this win streak. Vicious Val's coming in for a round here. He's on purple-black. I wonder if he's on rats as well. Alright, Sushi Shack is draw. This isn't a bad hand at all, actually. We've got turn 1, turn 2, safety, emergency. Yeah, I'm not expecting real aggro colors. Don't really want... Well, I really do want to dig for Elsifar, because that is what makes the deck tick. Now, thanks for coming by, Mindlord. Glad you hung out and got to see your beloved rats in action here. We'll catch you next time. It's a tough choice here. Like, do I really want to try and dig out that Elsevier? Do I just want to keep the Emergen because she's pretty solid? I think I'll actually toss the Fortify. It's a little awkward, but like I don't need it this early. I'm not up against red. Okay, well, the game said no. This is the hand. Hey, all right, I like this. Like, no rats to go along with it, but like that's okay. We'll find our rats. So we've got turn 1, turn 2. We've got our mid game / win condition. Dash protection, like we're alright. Now we just need to actually find some early game units. Early game units are, and our rats. So we can start setting up. Okay, he might actually be on proper aggro here. So I guess I'm glad I still have a Fortify. Yeah, purple-black certainly can play a solid aggro list. But Emergen and Fortify should keep us safe from getting overwhelmed by aggro. So we'll just drop a Sushi Shack on the bottom here, because I don't want to play it here, because then Pumpkin could sneak in here and be like boxed in safely, given I have to attack him with range anyways, but it felt better to play on the bottom right now. Alright, well, we've got Vermin Tunnels, but we don't really like playing Vermin Tunnels by itself. We really want other rats on the field first. So that's okay. We may just bide our time, maybe draw a card. We'll see what happens. Crypt. Interesting. I wonder if he's playing Crypt aggro? We don't quite know yet. Like, he's not on, like, if it was red-black, I'd assume it was Crypt aggro, and, Flying Pumpkin suggests aggro. I don't quite know what I'm up against right now. Nope. So we're just gonna sit tight with what we got here. We just gotta stall a little one turn, drop a Merkin. What we'd really like to see though is our Archer, because she'd be able to put a dent in him. But we've got a Merkin, so a Merkin will save us from this beefed up Pumpkin. And we just have to wait one more turn here. Yeah, I guess we're just going to keep doing sort of a whole lot of nothing right now. Salt Tower, that would have been nice. That would have given me something to do against that Pumpkin, but oh well, we'll just set it up for later. Mergen will come down next turn when I have initiative and deal with that Pumpkin. So, a little bit of an awkward start, but not a terrible one either. We're just setting up for our late game. Alright, let's see. Alright, so I'm going to drop the Emergen right here, because that gives me the opportunity to heal if I want to. I can always step away and then shoot. Playing it here gives me the most options. I just don't know if I want to be spending my mana right now. Like, I'm not in dire straits need of a heal, and I do have some, like, until I get, like, Elsevier Rats going, I don't have a lot of mana to spare, so I'm just going to hang tight for now and see what happens. That part, interesting. There's not a lot of beasts in these colors, so I still just don't quite know what's going on here. Well, let's kill that Pumpkin. He's likely... don't think he'll be able to kill the Emergen even with a zombie, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, shouldn't be. Yeah, that's not enough. He can take out my mana tower or my school if he felt so inclined, but that's okay. I think I will heal her up, though. Like, I will have enough mana next turn to play either of these, should I feel inclined to do so. The real question here, though, is do I transform her to keep her safe, which means I can't... Oh, okay. Interesting. So we're on Black Rats. Yeah, I still just don't quite know what we're up against here. Don't want that Emergen to... Oh, I guess I don't mind the other Emergen dying if I have Elsevier down. So, I've got a backup Emergen. If he dies while Elsivier's down, I can live with that. So we're up against Rats something. I would have assumed it was Ultra Rats. But Crypt and Rats don't really get along either. So, but hey, Crypt is still just an amazing card in general, and it does give Hidden in the Walls value. So maybe he is just playing Crypt Rats, which is neat. So first things first, let's kill this Fat Bard. Do I want to kill the Rat King, or do I want to kill the Tombstone? I think I want to kill the Tombstone, because, you know, I don't want him just getting a free zombie. I wonder if he has enough little rats to clean up Emergen. Looking likely. Okay, goodbye Emergen, but that buffs up Elsevier, which we're happy with. Doing his best to damage. Now, the more damage you get in on Elsevier early, the better. Because his health stays at that value as you progress here. I could play some Vermin Tunnels. It's probably what I'm going to do. Probably just going to throw down Emergen, which will be used to... Yeah, we'll take it one step at a time here. I don't like playing Vermin Tunnels without another rat on the field, but right now we really want to get some Elsevier value. So we'll call it good. We'll hold it in our hand to see what happens, because, you know, we might want to play a Fortify instead. Okay, yeah, he's definitely on Ultra Rats here. Cool. Okay. Got 4 actions. Alright, now let's play Vermin Tunnels. Are they big enough to... Okay, they will be big enough to trade into there. That'll also get me the heal I was looking for. Clean that up. I think we will now just clean up these tombstones. I prefer marching Elsevier down the lane, but we gotta make sure to control his value power right now. He is on Big Dragon possible turn here. So if that's what happens, you know, we'll fortify up. I'm sorry, Red Bastard, that's always a bit rough. Alright, yeah, I think we're going to fortify our Elsevier because we don't want to risk getting punked by that Bone Mage here. We'll probably also want to heal him up with the Emergen. Do I play a Sushi Shack for the draw and hope? I mean, I could play Call and Fat Bard, or I could play Sushi Shack and something. I think we're just going to drop the Sushi Shack. Okay, didn't find anything we wanted. But I can... Well, I can either try to protect my Emergen a bit, or I can threaten this Bone Mage? I think I want to threaten the Bone Mage because I really want that to die before, because Bone Mage could very easily punk Elsevier if I'm not real careful. We will go ahead and just transform Emergen, though. She's out of Bone Mage range, and this keeps her safe from getting beat up by rats. So I should be able to finish off this Bone Mage with a combination of Fat Bard and Emergen here. Well, maybe not. He's doing some serious damage to my Fat Bard here. So what I'll do is I will move Emergen over here. So there's a lot of finicky things with Emergen. If I moved her here and then transformed, I would lose my action. But if I move her here and transform, she'll have an attack target, so it won't automatically skip her action. So I'll move there, we'll shapeshift, and now we decide whether... I think we'll go ahead and try to heal our Fat Bard and hope that will get him healthy enough that we can kill this Bone Mage. I did want to heal Elsevier, but alright, so now we can attack the Bone Mage, and okay, that will be enough. Perfect. That's exactly what we were hoping for. And now we'll pass, because we want him to move something into Elsevier range if possible. He's definitely getting beaten up my castle there with that altar, though, so I do need to be careful. We'll probably just end up transforming Emergen and pulling her back so I can start healing castle, but we'll see what happens here. Don't quite have enough mana to waste on School Draw, so we're just gonna hang tight for now and see what happens. Okay, looking like Were-Rat, Vermin Tunnels, Transform Emergen. I think that is the play here, so we'll drop the Were-Rat. We won't tip our hand with the Vermin Tunnels yet. Do I want to transform Emergen now? We're on initiative. I think I'll just end up here. Okay, so I will let initiative go. Then I will heal her and transform and bring her back. So I do need to start trying to protect my castle a bit from that altar. And this way, it also just, I'm not tipping my hand. He doesn't know what answers I may or may not have an answer. We're going to end summon, see what he does. I am expecting big old Mordennoth dragon any moment here. But Elsevier is very quickly approaching. Alright, so let's go ahead and... Actually, we're not going to heal Emergen. We're going to heal Elsevier, because Emergen is just going to go hide in the back and heal spam on castle real shortly here. Oh, wow. You won against Steel playing dinos? Without dinos? What? Well, I think we're just going to play the Vermin Tunnels now, since we've got... Let's start powering up our Elsevier before there's any opportunity to damage him. I want to hold my Were-Rat back a little bit. Well, no, because I need to kill this zombie. Alright, let's kill the zombie with Elsevier. Let's do a little more damage to that. And now let's... crap. She's still not in danger. We're okay. Aha! Yeah, Grave Robbery is a really good card. Okay, good. He brought the Norbon up like I was sort of hoping. Like, I was hoping you would come into range to attack Elsephar, because that means now I'll be able to kill off that Norbon. Uh-oh. Well, goodbye, Emergen. Yeah, no answer to that. My health is getting dangerously low, but Elsephar is getting dangerously big. So I can come over here, kill that, draw a card, and then he is definitely in danger zone from Elsephar here. It's not an initiative though, so we might be able to do something about that. We will have to see. Thinking double assault tower and hidden in the walls is what we're going to be doing here. Very awkwardly placed assault towers, but that's okay. Do I want to tip? Yeah, no, I do want to play hidden in the walls now because I don't want to risk losing a building for some reason. So, getting a bunch of rats here means that I will likely get Elsephar big enough to just one-shot castle momentarily. And I suppose I probably should have drawn a card first. Alright, what's he doing? Okay, he's doing his best to beat up Elsephar while he can, which is definitely the right play. I need to start suiciding some things to pump Elsephar back up. Means I'll likely just be sending a bunch of rats into this zombie here. So yep, let's start doing that, because we need that Elsephar to be a lot bigger than he is right now. Just as big as possible, although I do want to... Yeah, no, let's just keep... Let's pump up those numbers. Because I'll be on initiative, so, you know, basically as long as Elsephar survives, I don't even have to kill him this turn. Elsephar needs to survive, and then I will be golden. Alright, so that's pretty much all the damage I can really do. Shoot that. I can come beat up on this zombie so it can't hurt my Elsephar as hard. And... Yep, time to just plan to win with initiative here. Elsephar doing his job. Not much he can do. Like, he's going to need burst spells. Alright, so probably throw some fat birds down, get those rat buffs, throw vermin tunnels down for good measure, and it's all overkill anyways, as Elsephar is just going to do a big punch here. And there we go. He wants a rematch, I suppose. Alright, Elspeth in starting hand, Northwood Hunter is good for the early game. Sushi Shack's okay, but I want to make sure we have something to play on turn 2 here, so. Not a bad hand, not a good hand. Oh, okay, well it just got better. We've got a turn 1, a turn 2, a turn 3, and so not bad at all. We'll have a ranged answer for that pumpkin. We'll throw down a Sushi Shack so we can create a safe pocket that we'll be able to drop our Northwood Hunter in. He's got another extremely strong open with the pumpkin into crypt. Very strong. But I should have good answers to it. I'm setting up buildings for my hidden in the walls plays. Our hand is not too bad at all. We just get safe pocket for Northwood Hunter to start dealing with that pumpkin. It's no Emergen, but it should do the job just as well. It'd be really nice if we did draw an Emergen next turn too. Then we would just perfect curve. Again, we're probably just going to be needing to rebuild our mana tower. Now time to just run this puppy up there. Alright, rebuild. Did I forget to attack? Ouch, I missed my Northwood Hunter attack. That's very unfortunate. That's definitely going to set me back a bit. Yeah, we'll call that good. Well, Elspeth coming out next turn. Right, so first, let's start beating up these pumpkins. I plan to have that pumpkin dead by now, but it is what it is. So let's go up here. So I'm threatening this dojo, and he's out of reach of a pumpkin trade. Yeah, if we're lucky, he's going to kill the wolf. It would have been nice to keep it around for when I dropped Elspeth, but this is alright. He's doing his best to beat up on my castle, but between Fortify and this pocketed hunter, we should be alright. So I think it's just time to pass, and we'll get our Elspeth marching on forward there, and we'll have we'll have a bunch of rats to follow up. Playing him right now might actually be a little risky, though, because he could take a lot of damage from what just came down. So I might just actually do a hidden Vermin Tunnels turn here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, because we're likely going to lose a building too. So let's do hidden and Vermin Tunnels, get a bunch of stuff on the field, and the next turn we'll be able to drop Elspeth with initiative and start doing some nice trades there. Probably could have tried to draw a card, but I don't want to waste my mana until I know Elspeth Engine's going to be up and running here. Alright, so I don't want to kill this pumpkin until I'm done trading. Actually, I'm just going to... Alright, so I'm going to run this rat away from that pumpkin. I don't want it to die to the explosion. And then I'll trade this rat into the smaller rat. Now I'll proc that explosion, so it won't get nearly as much value. Although I suppose doing it that way, I left a tombstone, which may have been a mistake. But oh well. I've got my rat wall here, which apparently is a wall against, other rats anyways. Next turn I'll probably be Elsefaring and fortifying my castle. Don't really want to be doing much trading though, but I do want to kill off this bard. I don't want him getting buffed rats for when I drop Elsifar. Do want to deal with this tombstone. Cleaning up my rats. That's okay. We're going to deal with this tombstone, and we can clean up his rats without even losing a rat there. I think we're just going to pass now because I want him to reveal a rat, and I don't really want to trade that one until Elsefar's down. And looking like next turn is going to be Elsifar and fortifying our castle. We do want to find an Emergent at this point just to try and heal our castle up, because if he drops an altar soon, we could be in the danger zone. This might be my last game for this afternoon here. I'll still be playing, but maybe wrapping the stream up so that I can get some foods and all that good stuff. But we'll at least finish this one. Alright, so I think that's time to end combat. We've got a spot to place Elsefair. We've got some rats to trade in. We can protect our castle a little bit with Fortify. I suppose I should play the Fortify first, just to explore our options, but yeah, no, it's Elsefair time. Do I want to draw? Not really. Well, maybe I do, because he very well may just kill both of those, and we're going to get some mana back from this Elsefair. Hey, there's an Emergent. Good. Alright, we're in good shape. Castle's protected by Fortify this turn. We're going to get some extra mana from some rat trades. Dangerous. Alright, so I guess, yeah, first let's clean up some rats here. Actually want... I'm going to pull back and start working on this rat king over here. So I want my rats to die. Attacking this rat will survive. I don't want it to survive right now. I want to pump up Elsefair as much as possible before he takes any damage. We're in pretty good shape. We've got the Elsefair engine rolling. I do need to be very careful about that Bone Mage, because if he can damage my Elsefair, he can just punk him hard with that Entune mechanic. All he's got to do is get Elsefair to half, so I'm trying to be careful, keep him nice and healthy. But at this point, I'm also trying to keep my castle healthy, which is a little tough. Yeah, even with that Fortify, those are hitting really hard. I could definitely be in serious danger here. So I cannot actually afford to kill this right now, because I don't want him to get a free hit from that pumpkin. So we're going to move up. We're going to kill a rat. And we're just going to pass. So I really want him to use that pumpkin now before I kill off that rat. Given killing off that rat's going to leave a tombstone, so okay, I guess I'm less worried about that, although Tombstone might hit harder than that rat. Alright, so I'm in a very strange position right now of it is worse for me to kill this rat. So I'm instead just going to... I can either damage the zombie so he does a little bit less damage to my face, or I can go after that pumpkin. But to go after the pumpkin, I'd have to leave my pocket. So I'm going to just damage this zombie just to try and keep myself alive a little bit more. And I'm definitely in a bit of danger here, because, let's see, my castle's got 35 health left. He's going to do 15-ish twice. Alright, so I shouldn't be dying to these 2 hits, but I am definitely in a bit of danger. So, next turn, I should survive long enough to get the Emergent Heal off that. And it's definitely going to be close. Like, if he drops an altar, I'll be in serious danger, but I think Emergent will keep me in the game. Well, he's also just sort of checking his options here. So we should be good. I'll drop an Emergent in this safe pocket here, because I didn't, give him a tombstone to use. Well, no matter what, I'm going to have to play this Emergent. Actually, him stealthing that rat will let me defend myself. I would like to actually, get my own rats going, but I can't really afford to do that right now. I really need to just keep my castle safe. So let's take advantage of that window we opened up there to put another block down. Yeah, so we're in an okay spot. Like, not great. It's definitely stressful. We really wanted to play our own rats so we could pump this Elsifar up some more. But he's put enough pressure on us that we could not afford to do that. So we're trying to play it safe here, play the long game. So we don't expect Elsifar to die right now. Okay, I will take advantage of my opportunity to kill this Lich. We will heal up. We'll go ahead and shoot this zombie. Finish off that pumpkin. I guess finishing off the pumpkin might have been... Okay, it'll be fine. He has more tunes than he knows what to do with anyways. My castle is in a very dangerous position, though. I'm trying to see if I'll be able to get my Emergent over. I'll probably be able to clear the way with rats next turn, so I think for now I just want to clear a tombstone. Next turn I'll get another Emergent heal on initiative. He is going to get another rough hit on my castle here, which is definitely going to hurt. Yeah, we are. Very danger mode in castle. I think between the Emergent heal... Yeah, we are. The Emergent heal might not be enough. Okay, but I can draw a card. I really need to hope for a Fortify or another Emergent. That is not what we were hoping for. So, looking like... Rat King and Roman Tunnels. Yeah, I think that's my best bet. Yeah, I'm less worried about trying to kill him this turn and more worried about surviving. So we are going to play the Rat King. I probably should have... Well, no, that's the right sequence because stealthing the rats is less important than getting more rats. Kill this zombie. Come down. Protect that angle of castles. It's only got one spot he can attack castle. And then I can damage that zombie. I might just go ahead and... tricky. Very tricky. I'd like to be able to finish off this tombstone, but I think right now the most important thing is just to preserve as much castle health as possible. Yeah, I have to be very careful about clearing that zombie, but so yeah, for now we're going to focus on cleaning up some rats, which will buff Elsevier some more. I don't want to kill that Rat King unless... Okay, I may want to kill that zombie though. This is tough. Alright, well I can't kill that zombie while he's still got rats alive, so let's start by cleaning those up. So, kill some rats. Start that. Real tight spot. And I think I am going to need to kill that zombie, and then I'll be needing to use Call of the Wild to draw a Rat King to drop in that body block. I should have just enough mana. Right. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. It's been real scary, but I think we will just eke through this. Murgan's just been keeping us in the game. And he's realizing he's got to be real careful about trading into my units now, because if that Elsevier gets too big, it's just going to do a number on it. Oh, he's surrendering. Huh. Dang. That was such a tight game. I'm sad he may have just disconnected. That's a shame. That was a really one. I think I'd recovered and had secured it at that point, because I was going to be able to fully wall off my castle and keep spamming a Murgan heal, and the Elsevier March was very close to his castle there. Like, he did still have a turn to buy there, thanks to that tombstone, but that tombstone was only going to buy him a single turn there, and Elsevier only needed 1 or 2 shots to clear that castle. So that's the power of that deck, and that I think I really showcased why I'm running a Murgan, despite that she doesn't really have any synergy with the deck. Like, she gives us that anti-aggro and flying answers. There's that she's such a versatile card that fills all the deck's little weak points there, and we've won games both with Elsevier or with just Were-Rat spam. Even just Fat Bard with big hidden of the walls value does the trick too. It's a very tight knit, highly synergistic list that covers all of its bases aside from maybe AoE. I think we're going to wrap up there for the day. Thanks to everyone that stopped by, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. And if there's anything you guys want showcased then, let me know either on the stream or send me a message on Discord, and we'll bring that next week. Otherwise, I will catch you all then. See ya.